there's a moment, right after the applause dies, when the silence becomes something else entirely. Not peace, not relief, just emptiness. The lights dim, the crowd disperses, and what remains isn't the person who walked onto that stage. It's the shape left behind, the outline, the echo. Oshi no Ko doesn't start with the performance. It starts with what comes after, with the neon glow fading on wet pavement, with the smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes when the camera isn't rolling, with the question no one asks out loud, who are you when no one is watching? And in Season 3, that question stops being rhetorical. It becomes surgical. We need to talk about what this story actually is. Because on the surface, Oshi no Ko presents itself as a tale about the entertainment industry, about idols and actors and the machinery of fame. And it is that, but only in the way a knife is about metal. The material matters less than what you do with it. This isn't a story about people who want to be famous. It's a story about people who need to be seen in order to believe they exist. There's a difference, a vast one. Fame, in this world, isn't aspiration. It's survival. It's validation externalized until the self becomes unrecognizable without it. The stage isn't where you perform, it's where you breathe. And when the lights go out, you suffocate in the dark, wondering if you were ever real at all. Season 3 understands this at a cellular level. It understands that the entertainment industry isn't just a backdrop. It's a character, a predator, an ecosystem that feeds on youth and vulnerability and the desperate human need to matter. It doesn't consume you all at once. It fragments you, takes a piece here, a piece there, your privacy, your childhood, your name, your face, until what remains isn't a person, it's a product, a brand, a carefully curated illusion that millions of people love without ever knowing. And here's the cruelest part. You start to prefer it that way, because the illusion is perfect, controllable. The real you is messy, broken, difficult to love, but the version on screen, that version is flawless, that version is adored. So you protect it, you become it, you bury the real thing so deep that even you forget where to find it. This is what Ari Hoshino understood, this is what she tried to transcend, and this is what destroyed her. Now let's talk about trauma, not the way we usually do, not as a past event, not as something terrible that happened once and now lives in memory. In Oshi no Ko, trauma isn't history, it's architecture, it's the blueprint everything else is built on. Aqua doesn't carry his mother's murder like a scar, he carries it like an operating system. Every thought, every decision, every relationship, filtered through the moment everything shattered. The trauma didn't end when the event ended, it metastasized, it became him. And Ruby, she took that same trauma and weaponized it differently. Where Aqua turned inward, Ruby turned outward. She stepped into her mother's spotlight not to honor her, but to become her, to inhabit the very thing that killed Ari, as if proximity to danger could somehow resurrect the dead. Season 3 makes this explicit in ways that are almost unbearable to watch, because it reveals what trauma does when it becomes identity. It gives you purpose, direction, a narrative that makes sense of senselessness. Aqua's revenge isn't just about justice, it's about having a reason to exist. Ruby's idol career isn't just about fame, it's about proving she deserves the life her mother gave her. But purpose born from pain is fragile, it sustains you, it devours you, often at the same time. And the question Season 3 keeps asking is simple and terrifying. What happens when the revenge is complete? When the pain that shaped you finally resolves? Who are you then? The answer is devastating. You're no one, because you built yourself around an absence. And when that absence disappears, the structure collapses. Now we need to talk about performance, about being seen versus being known. In Oshi no Ko, everyone is performing. The idol on stage, the manager backstage, the fan in the crowd, the director shouting orders, the child actor learning how to cry on cue. Performance isn't optional, it's the language of the world. Acting becomes the perfect metaphor, because acting is the art of becoming someone else so convincingly that people believe it's real. It's knowing exactly where you end and the character begins, and choosing to blur the line anyway. Aqua is an actor, not just professionally, existentially. He performs normalcy, performs detachment, performs revenge. And beneath those layers, there might be a real person, or there might not. Even he doesn't know anymore. Season 3 dissects this with brutal precision. It shows that authenticity becomes impossible inside systems that reward fragmentation. The moment someone is watching, you're already editing yourself, curating, adjusting, becoming what they need you to be. And after long enough, you forget what the unedited version looked like, if there ever was one. The series doesn't answer this, because it can't. It depends on whether identity is discovered or constructed, whether the self exists independent of context, or whether it is always shaped by the gaze of others. Oshi no Ko leans toward the latter. And if that's true, authenticity isn't about removing the mask, it's about knowing which mask is yours. Now let's talk about inheritance. Legacy as gift, legacy as curse. Ai Hoshino has been gone since the beginning, yet she haunts every frame, not as a presence, but as an imprint. Her children carry her in their faces, in their choices, in their wounds. Inheritance in Oshi no Ko isn't money, it isn't fame, it's pattern replication. Ruby becomes an idol because Ari was an idol. Aqua seeks revenge because Ari was taken. They inherited the spotlight, and they inherited the damage, the inability to trust, the belief that love is conditional, that it must be earned through performance, maintained through perfection. Ari's legacy wasn't just success, it was fear, doubt, the belief that love might never be safe. Inherited pain doesn't feel inherited, it feels personal. You don't realize you're living someone else's unfinished story until you're deep inside it. Season 3 is that realization. The moment inheritance must be examined, accepted, or rejected, and rejection might mean stepping off the stage entirely. So why does Season 3 feel different? Because it stops pretending there are clean answers. Revenge won't heal, fame won't fill the void, truth won't bring closure. The system doesn't change, it adapts, it commodifies even its own darkness. There is no victory here, only negotiation, choosing which performance feels truest. Wearing the mask consciously, finding connection inside the artifice. Not hopeful, but honest. Trauma doesn't disappear, it integrates. Identity doesn't stabilize, it fractures and reforms. The goal isn't purity, it's survival. There's a scene where a character stands alone after everyone has left. The set is empty, the lights are off, and for a moment, they stop performing. There's no relief, only fear, because without the role, without the audience, they don't know who they are. This is the heart of Oshi no Ko. The tragedy isn't that fame changes you, it's that you were always performing, even before the spotlight. Fame just makes it louder, more permanent, more profitable. That's why the series resonates now. We live inside performance, curate selves, constant visibility, worth measured in attention. Oshi no Ko holds up a mirror, and the reflection is unsettling. So where does that leave us? Maybe with discomfort, maybe with questions instead of answers. Identity isn't discovered, it's negotiated, every day. The goal isn't to find a true self, it's to know when to perform, and when to stop. I never learned this. She was adored, but never known. Her children still have a chance, not by escaping fame, but by finding something beneath it, something that doesn't need applause. Season 3 is that search. It's painful, because it requires dismantling everything built for survival, standing in silence, being nobody for a while, so you can remember who you are. And that's where we end, in silence, after the performance, where the real story begins, when the screen goes dark, when there's no one left to impress. Who are you then? Do you know, or have you been performing so long you've forgotten the difference? Oshi no Ko won't answer, but it will make you ask. The lights fade, the stage is empty, and somewhere in the dark, someone removes their mask, wondering if there's anything underneath.